In the last part, Ushio faced with another minion of Hakumen. Next we see Hakumen, who was saying, "I will never forget what happened 2,300 years ago, because Beast Spear brought forth fear within me." Now Ushio has also understood that there is not much time for Hakumen to wake up, so he is also concerned about what he can in the meantime. Ushio then goes to return Nakamura's notebook, but Nakamura was not here at this time. On the other hand, Nakamura is on her way back home, but today she looked very happy, because she wants to give a bag to Ushio, on which she has written his name. Just then Ushio comes in front of her, but even today both of them start quarreling with each other, so Nakamura angrily starts leaving from here. That's when Ushio realizes that tomorrow, or next year might not even come for him, so he comes to Nakamura and decides to drop him home. On hearing this, Nakamura becomes very happy, but suddenly something happens to her and it seems she has forgotten everything about Ushio. Seeing this, Ushio asks what happened, but Nakamura do not remember anything about him and asks, "Who are you?" Hearing this, Ushio is surprised and Nakamura leaves from here. Because of this, Ushio gets very angry, and he goes to Nakamura's house to talk about it, after which he learns that Nakamura's parents have also forgotten everything about him. Now Nakamura is also angry at him, because he followed her all the way here. On the other hand, head of the West Shino and head of the East Osha are preparing for the battle with Hakumen, for which they have also prepared barrier building yokai Kazuchi, with the help of which they will protect Ushio from other monsters. Apart from this, Shino has also prepared and powerful armor for Ushio. But today Tokisaka time travels, during which he learns something, and everyone gets shocked to know about this. On the other hand, Ushio decides to head to the Kuhame Sex main temple, so that he can talk to his father about what is happening. After some time he reaches the temple, but now his father and other priests were also turned into stone. Now this worries Ushio, because he does not know what to do. Now Ushio feels that everyone has forgotten about him. At that moment Tora appears in front of him, but this time his face looked very strange, so Ushio feels that he has forgotten about him also. But then Tora calls Ushio by his name. Now Ushio becomes very happy with this, because Tora still had not forgotten about him. Tora then decides to go to meet Inoue with Ushio. Then Ushio says, "She has probably forgotten about me." To this Tora says, "You may not have noticed it, but I could sense it. Inoue has something, because she never feared monsters as much as she should, so it could be because she believes power lies within her." Ushio is shocked to know about this. On the other hand, Kiryu and Kuin are with Inoue, because Shigure brought him here after Toako died, after which Inoue's family take him in. That's why Kiryu is emotional. Seeing this, Inoue says, "I am actually really happy, it is like I have a little brother now." After some time Ushio comes here, but at the same time Nakamura also came to meet Inoue. Then Ushio tells her that Inoue knows me, but Nakamura doesn't believe his words, because of which there is a fight between them. Suddenly the sound starts coming from the beast spear. Now Nakamura goes to meet Inoue, but in the meantime a monster pulls her suddenly. Seeing this, Nakamura immediately rushes to save her, and actually Kazuchi had imprisoned her. Kiryu starts fighting to save Inoue. Just then Ushio also comes to help him, but Kiryu had forgotten about him. Now Ushio is surprised to see Reishin and Hitatsuki doing this. On the other hand, Osha and Shino stop Tora, but Osha had also forgotten about Tora. Now Ushio understands that these people want to take Inoue with them. After this, Shino and Osha start taking Inoue and Nakamura with them. Seeing this, Ushio and Tora go to save them, but Reishin and Kagari come in front of them, injure both of them and throw them down. After some time Ushio regains consciousness. Now at this time he was at Saya's house, but Saya had not forgotten about Ushio. However, Ushio does not understand how is she the only one who remembers him. Then Tora shows him group of Heiyu, whom Saya has stopped with her barrier, but Ushio still do not understand the whole thing. Then Saya tells him these Heiyu have gone into the minds of humans and spirits, and have devoted just their memories of you and Tora. But now Ushio could not understand the reason behind it. That's when Saya starts telling that fear is Hakumen's strength, so the more that humans and spirits fear, the more it is able to make that its own strength. But the beast spear does not feel fear, so the one who wields it Ushio, and the one who wields unrivaled power Tora, these two are the hope that might be able to defeat Hakumen. Because of this there was no way Hakumen would have let that slide, because hope greatly weakens fear. Now Ushio wonders how Saya knows about all these things. Just then Tokisaka comes here and he has told everything to her. On the other hand, Inoue and Nakamura are imprisoned inside a barrier, but they would turn into dust if they try to touch it. After this Inoue starts telling Nakamura, "When we both had turned into stone, Then someone saved us at that time. But neither of us remember about him. Inoue then tells Nakamura, I cannot remember him either. But I loved him and you love him too. However, Nakamura do not remember anything about it. Then Inoue says, he really loves you, but I love both of you. I might cry at home sometimes but I would not say it. But Nakamura never wants to see Inoue crying. So she says I will give that guy to you, and fall in love with someone else. On the other hand, Tokisaka tells Ushio, we tried to go beyond time, in order to find Hakumen's weakness. We finally reached the final battle and saw the beast's spear shattered. We told the heads about it. After that, the unrest that spread through the room. It was the absolute sense of defeat born from fear and despair. Then the heads decided to create the beast spear once more, and I realized that something was wrong. Because they had all lost their memories of the two of you. Tokisaka then reveals that Inoue shares the blood of GMA. Ushio and Tora are shocked to hear about this. Now Ushio starts remembering all the things about GMA, after which he learns that the maiden name of his and Inoue's mother is Hazaki, and Inoue's mother Hazaki Mikado was a very distant relative of GMA. Now Ushio is very surprised, and decides to save Inoue and Nakamura. On the other hand, some monsters come to Inoue and Nakamura. They ask Nakamura to go home, because they are going to sacrifice Inoue. She gets angry on hearing this, after which the monster throws her towards the barrier. Seeing this, Inoue wants to save her. Suddenly enormous power comes out of her hand, because of which the barrier gets destroyed. Seeing this, both Inoue and Nakamura are shocked. After this, Osha and others also come here, but even Inoue does not understand how the power came out from her hands. At the same time, GMA comes here and forbids them to sacrifice Inoue. To this, Shino and Osha say, ultimately the beast's spear will shatter. So we need the spear in order to defeat Hakumen. And for that we must have Inoue offer her life, who shares your blood. Inoue is also shocked to learn about this. Then GMA tells her, it means that you will be next in line to keep Hakumen sealed. The current Oyakume is Ayatsuki Ushio's mother, but her power will die out soon. She then tells Shino and Osha, remember why the yokai of the East and West, who could not unite for many years, finally decided to work together. It is all because of Ushio, who grieved for all who suffered. But Shino does not want anyone to interfere, so he immediately imprisons GMA and Inoue. During this, Nakamura tries to save Inoue, because of which she gets injured. Now Shino tells Nakamura, we know this girl has the power, so we will seal her just to be safe. On the other hand, Ushio and Tora have also come here, but GMA is unable to do anything to save Inoue, because at this time she has very little power. Just then Nakamura also notices that all the monsters are desperate. After this, they go to sacrifice Inoue. Just then Nakamura stops them, because she wants to say her last goodbye to Inoue. Now Nakamura comes to Inoue, but Inoue was not scared. Then Nakamura tells Inoue, I would not let anything happen to you. She then asks GMA, does the sacrifice have to be your blood relative? Then GMA says, my brother only said that the best steel comes from a forge that a person has jumped into. Nakamura then tells everyone, Inoue has the power to seal away Hakumen, so her sacrifice would be a waste. But I would not be a waste at all. Now Inoue becomes sad by this. Then Nakamura tells Inoue, I always acted like the older sister, but actually you were always the one covering for me. So this time I am going to save you. This makes Inoue very sad, but she is unable to do anything to stop Nakamura. Nakamura then tells Inoue, the guy with the spear, you can have him. Seeing this, Inoue rushes to stop Nakamura, but Kagari catches her, and says, caring for another, I know that feeling well. But you need to understand her feelings too. On the other hand, Ushio and Tora have killed all the monsters outside. After this, Tora starts asking the last monster about the girls. After this, both Ushio and Tora set out to rescue the girls. But now Ushio starts thinking that I could save many people before this. But this time I will not let anything happen to anyone. On the other hand, Nakamura goes to sacrifice herself, during which she starts thinking. She wanted to go on a date with the person she loves. He has a foul mouth, is quick to fight and can never calm down. That's when he remembers Ushio's face. In the last moment, Ushio and Tora arrive here. But Nakamura had jumped into the fire already. Now Ushio does not want to see her dying in any condition, so he immediately jumps into the fire to save her. Now Nakamura is surprised by this, but after that she faints. Shino was also surprised by this, because he had never seen such a man before. Seeing this, Tora uses his lightning power to save Ushio. Suddenly the power of Beast Spear gets activated. After which Ushio rescues Nakamura and brings him out. But now Osha's plan was ruined because of him. So he asks his people to attack him. On seeing this, Tora starts fighting with them. But Ushio was not attacking them. Seeing this, Tora gets angry. Then Ushio says, "They just forgot about us. After we just became friends with them. So I cannot kill them now." Meanwhile Ration comes to attack. On seeing this, Tora grabs his throat. But still he does nothing to him. After that everyone starts attacking them. But Tora saves Ushio from getting injured and does not attack anyone. Seeing this, GMA tries to stop them and says, "A monster who has saved humans. And a human who has shed tears for the sake of monsters. They have risked their lives. They are not your enemies." But none of them was listening to her. Now seeing both of them in such condition, tears start falling from Inoue's eyes. So she uses her power and sends them away from here. But Osha still asks to follow them. Meanwhile all people come to attack them. But at the same time a monster named Goran comes here. And tells them, "I have come to deliver you all your death. With these spirit blades Hakumen has given me." But Ushio is very surprised. Because Goran looked exactly like Tora. Now Shino and the others start fighting them all. After which Tora starts leaving from here with Ushio and Nakamura. But Ushio stops him and asks to take care of Nakamura. Because Goran and his people were very powerful. So Ushio wants to help Shino and others. Hearing this, Tora says, "Those guys forgot all about us and attacked us. So now those should just die." But at this time Nakamura's condition was also very bad. That's why Ushio starts crying a lot. Because if he had not gotten involved in all this, he would not have dragged her into it. However, Ushio do not care if she forget him. But he will never ever forget her. Ushio then prepares to fight them and Tora sends him down. But now looking at him, Goran starts making fun of him. Because Ushio was looking very weak at this time. Here Tora brings Nakamura to Paka, who applies medicine to Nakamura's entire body. But now Tora was worried about Ushio. Seeing this, Inoue tells Tora, "Do not you want to save Ushio?" After this, Tora is unable to control himself and immediately goes to save Ushio. Now Ushio was weak in front of Goran and his people. After this, Goran orders his people to destroy the beast spear. But at the same time Tora comes here and now Ushio is happy to see him. After this both start facing their enemies together. Now no one was able to compete with them anymore. Everyone is surprised to see them fighting together. Tora starts to use his fire power, while Ushio was killing everyone with the help of beast spear. Now Shino was also surprised to see their strength and says, "When that boy with the spear and that monster fight together, they are truly two monsters that have become one." Ushio and Tora then use their power together and kill everyone. At this time Ushio's condition had become very bad. But now everyone was surprised to see them. Tora tells Ushio, "No matter how hard you fight for these guys, it is useless. They are not thankful at all." Then Ushio says, "I didn't do it for that." On the other hand, Nakamura is still unconscious. But now GMA asks Inoue to come with her. Saya gets upset hearing this, and tells Inoue, "Once you become the Oyakume, you would not be able to return to the normal world. So it should be me. Because I am from the white-haired tribe." To this Inoue tells Saya, "You are so nice. But have you ever thought of this? You are like a superhero fighting the evil in the world. But I think about it all the time and my hero was Nakamura. She is not conceited at all and she is kind. So I always wanted to be Nakamura. But when I told her that, she got mad. And said, everyone is fine just as they are. So they should just be as they are, and do what they are meant to do. Then I realized I could not be like those two. But I can become an Oyakume." After this Inoue starts leaving with GMA. And tells Saya, "When Ushio comes back, tell him to just hurry up and beat Hakumen. Then come for me." After some time Ushio and Tora return. After which Saya tells Ushio about Inoue. Due to which Ushio gets very angry. Now Saya says, "I believe there is a reason that I still remembered you and Tora. So I plan on doing the best I can at my own role." After this Tora says goodbye to them and leaves from here with Nakamura and Tora. But now seeing Nakamura in Ushio's arms, it makes Saya a little jealous. But now Nagari is also looking at Tora and Ushio. Then he says, "You are supposed to fight me next time. I will upload a new video very soon. So please like this video and subscribe to Ani Summary. But if you have missed the previous part, then definitely watch the video of the left side.